Hello guys, welcome back. Please subscribe to the channel if you want more of this recap.
Tianming was trapped along with a girl named Fei Ying in a strange dimension inside a hotel run by the Huhin sect. The pavilion master comes into the dimension and tells the men that they have to enter the red portals that opened on the side of the floor and participate in a test. Those who survive would be taken to the floating islands. But the test is a technique called the Yin-Yang Heart Demon technique that forces people to make terrible decisions and go mad. Tianming decides that he will need Fei Ying's help in passing the test and asks her to join her. She also agrees because that was the safest way for her. They fool the crowd of men by playing husband and wife. But when Tianming enters the portal, his memories of cultivation are taken and he finds himself in his village. Tired of the bullying of the villagers and his impending doom, Tianming is coaxed by the voice of the demon. He tries to listen to the demon and asks his childhood friend Xiao Shui to dual cultivate with him. But from there, a circle of violence starts and Tianming kills all the people in the village and starts to force himself on Xiao Shui when his mind is saturated by corruption. Fei Ying comes in at the last moment and uses all her spiritual energy to give him another chance to complete this mission. If it turned out like this again, both of them would die. Tianming sees two doors in front of him and decides to walk through the door of evil. He wakes up again in the same situation, but he starts off as a violent and arrogant man right off the bat. He kills his bullies and presents their heads to the village chief. He also declares that he will be taking away Xiao Shui by force. The villagers are horrified at the change in his behavior. They threaten him and say that he was probably mad if he thought he would get out of it safely after saying those things. Tianming uses a special attack that cuts through the ground and creates a big crack in the ground. Everyone is shocked when he tells them that he was strong enough to do anything and walk away. He says that he will help them by saving them from the robbers that were going to attack the village. But they had to let him do as he pleased with Xiao Shui. If they resisted, he would kill all of them. The villagers are divided upon listening to his offer. One person says that they should not rely on someone so immoral, while another one says that Tianming had the power they needed badly. They ask the chief what he thought and he shouts at the villagers. He says that he will not let Tianming lay his hands on his daughter or any girl in the village. Tianming throws a dagger on the ground and tells the people around him to pick it up. He says that he accepts his crime of killing 3 villagers, and the village chief was right that he needed to be punished. So he dares anyone who thinks highly of himself to come and attack him with that dagger. Tianming adds that he will not harm them even if they attack him. Xiao Shui runs away from the gathering and finds Bo, the man Tianming killed the last time. She tells him what Tianming was planning to do and requests him to save her. She tells Bo that she wanted to give her first time to him and thus he should try to protect her from Tianming. Tianming is still waiting for anyone to step up and attack him. He teases the people there and one man gets angry and rushes at him. He picks up the dagger and tells Tianming that he would die at his hands. He jumps on Tianming to kill him, but another man comes there and slices the attacker with his sword. The old man that had saved Tianming was called Wang, and he argues that Tianming was their biggest weapon and killing him would mean inviting death. The village chief is furious at Wang and asks him how could he think of killing another person. He orders his men to arrest both Tianming and Wang, but Wang is not ready to give up. He says that he will protect Tianming with his life so that the village could be protected from the robbers. The quarrel elevates from words to violence and the villagers start killing each other. Wang and the village chief attack each other and Wang kills the chief. After that, the two factions, the one that supports the chief and the one that stands with Wang, start fighting and killing each other. Tianming smiles menacingly as the villagers do the dirty work for him. Everyone there dies and Tianming is satisfied when he receives the notification that his task was complete. He had eliminated all the targets and his mind contamination was barely 3%. He would leave the illusion soon. Tianming smiles and says to himself that this was indeed the correct way to pass the test. A sudden flash of light appears in front of a waterfall. Tianming and Fei Ying have been teleported there after clearing the heart demon test. Tianming wonders if he had reached the flying island or was this somewhere else. The system tells him that the number of the remaining entrants to the heart demon array was 27 out of 100. There is no one but the two of them there. Tianming thinks that this was a good thing as they could now rest. But then, he feels a sharp pain in his head and loses his balance. He falls on Fei Ying and accidentally presses her breast. She gets angry, but Tianming is still dealing with the pain from mental contamination. If it was higher than 3%, he might have died from the pain. Tianming gets up and when Fei Ying tries to scold him for touching her, he tells her it was no big deal as he had seen her without clothes as well. Fei Ying realizes that he was a shameless and tactless man. She asks him about the illusion he was in. She asks him how could he kill so many people so easily despite being only a villager in the illusion. Tianming shrugs her off and tells her that it did not matter to her. But he is still feeling terrible because of the headache and asks her to help him with it. Fei Ying suddenly gets shy and embarrassed and cannot say anything. Tianming tells her that she had promised to help him with anything he needed and she could not back away now. He tells her that if she did not help him, he would leave her to her own means. Fei Ying tells him that he was being unfair, but she has no choice but to do as he says. She tells him to lie down and take off his clothes. The correct way to reduce the headache due to mind contamination required that. Tianming lies down on a nearby stone and Fei Ying gets on top of him. She is licking his chest and stomach to disperse the corruption from his body. Tianming knew that the Huhin sect was a lecherous place, but even then, sucking the corruption out of the target's body was too much. He looks at Fei Ying and he starts to get aroused upon seeing her. But he distracts himself by thinking that the people of the Huhin sect were not to be trusted. He was doing all this only to get better and had no ulterior motives. Then suddenly Fei Ying starts taking off Tianming's pants. He is flustered and asks her what she was doing. She tells him that the effect of the demon heart technique was spread throughout his body. She had cleaned his upper half, but now she needed to clean the corruption of his lower body. And the most important part she needed to cleanse was in his lower body itself. Tianming decides to let her do what she is going to. Fei Ying is shy, but she tucks her hair strands behind her ear and is ready to start cleaning him. But then they hear a voice of a bystander who says that this was not their bedroom. Tianming gets up in shock and pushes Fei Ying aside. He runs after the man who said it, but he is quite fast. Tianming realizes that it might not be the best idea to chase him right now. He was still not at his best and they were interrupted just as Fei Ying was getting to the good part. But he thinks that the person who was running away looked similar to Meng Xiao, the manager's son. He starts chasing Meng Xiao, who is hell-bent on revenge. He is about to use his technique when Tianming kicks him. Tianming finds out more about him using the system. He was in the 6th stage of the foundation building realm and his mind was 56% contaminated. Tianming mocks him and says that with a 56% mind contamination, he could not hope to achieve anything. But since Fei Ying was also a member of the Huhin sect like Meng Xiao, it would be troublesome if he found out that she was helping Tianming. He decides to kill him so that he did not spill their secrets to others. But Meng Xiao tells him that he was making a mistake. He had a special technique that acted like a tracker, and his sister was on the other end of the technique. She would be informed if he was killed and she would come for revenge. Tianming does not care about his threats and thinks that Meng Xiao is just bluffing when he says that his sister was really strong. But just as he is about to cut Meng Xiao's neck, Tianming receives a notice from the system. He would lose a potential dual cultivation partner Lu Mengkai if he killed Meng Xiao. Tianming stops at the final moment and does not kill the boy. He finds it hard to believe that he was the brother of the woman he was running from. He does not want to make her even angrier and decides to spare the life of Meng Xiao. Meng Xiao is still afraid for his life, but Tianming calls Fei Ying to their place. He orders her to cure the mind contamination of the boy. Meng Xiao had seen what she did when trying to cure Tianming's mind contamination. He gets excited thinking that he was also going to be licked clean by her and starts taking off his clothes while smirking. But Fei Ying gets angry and uses a technique on him. She focuses spiritual energy on her fingertips and releases it in front of his forehead. Just like that, Meng Xiao's mind contamination drops down rapidly. Tianming can see everything through his system and wonders why did she opt for 2 different methods to heal them. If she had used this method with him and his 3% contamination, he would be cured immediately. But she had thought it was necessary to remove his clothes and lick him clean. Tianming is suspicious of her motives. But Meng Xiao is completely cured now and he thanks Tianming for helping him. He could have killed him if he wanted, but he chose to save his life instead. When he asks for a reason, Tianming asks him if his elder sister was called Lu Mengkai. Meng Xiao is shocked upon hearing this. He asks Tianming how he knew his sister's name. Tianming boasts that he knew his sister very well and they were very close. It was natural that he would help the little brother of a girl who was so special to him. Meng Xiao starts crying and clings to his knee. He thanks him and apologizes for being rude earlier. He promises that he would never forget this debt and come to help him if it was ever needed. But then some people jump up from behind Tianming and come in front of them. There are 5 people and they look like strong cultivators. Tianming wonders what was happening, but one thing was clear, the people looked hostile. Their leader is Huli and he is staring at Fei Ying because he identified that she was from the Huhin sect. His followers start preparing for battle, but then they see the gate behind them. It was the 100 Deadly Soul gate that was not used now. Huli addresses Tianming and tells him that the girl with him is from the Huhin sect. It was an evil sect that needed to be exterminated. Huli tells Tianming to hand the girl to his group so that she could be punished. They would kill him if he did not comply with their request. Fei Ying clings to Tianming and starts acting like his wife again. She says that she was scared and hides behind him. Meng Xiao tries to bring the situation under control by telling the attackers that they were not who they think. He says that Tianming and Fei Ying were his brother and sister-in-law. They were not a part of the Huhin sect. Tianming summons his shadow suit and wears it. He knows that it was not easy to escape these people. They could have used the gate, but the attackers already had their eyes on it. Tianming notices that Huli also has a considerable level of mind contamination. but he was still in the Golden Core realm and it would not be wise to fight all of them at once. Tianming puts his dagger in front of Fei Ying and she is confused about what he wants to do. Tianming tells the attackers that the girl could heal their heart demons easily, but if they wanted that, they needed to let Meng Xiao get away safely. The attackers also realized that the three of them had no traces of heart demons. It meant that Tianming was not bluffing. The attackers argue if they should take the deal, but Hu Li decides that it was worth taking. He tells Tianming that they would let them go, but he had to demonstrate the girl's healing powers before that. Tianming laughs on hearing this and says that he thought the attackers would have some character. They claimed to come here to punish the Huhin sect, but once they were given a chance to live, they would forget their ideals immediately. He laughs, saying that he should not have made an offer to cowards like them. They were not much better than the Huhin sect or any other demonic sect for that matter. Hu gets angry at Tianming and tells him to shut up. He reminds him that he was stronger than everyone here and he could do anything he wanted to. He orders Tianming to beg for forgiveness and give Fei Ying to them. Tian mocks him and says that he would not obey him even in his dreams. He puts his hand around Fei Ying and starts touching her, saying that he was not going to part ways with his woman just because some thugs said so. Even she is enjoying it. Hu Li is infuriated by the taunts and decides to attack Tianming. He orders his team to get in the sword formation quickly, but Tianming pushes Fei Ying to safety and takes on Hu Li's attack. Hu Li covers his sword in spiritual energy and launches a powerful attack, but Tianming stops him. The other attackers are surprised that Tianming could fight on equal grounds with Hu Li. One of the attackers tries to take advantage of Tianming's unguarded points and rushes to attack him from behind. He covers his sword in an ice aura and rushes at Tianming even when the others tell him that it was dangerous. They were from the Hu Sword sect. It was a legend that the founder of this sect had mastered the way of the sword in 500 years. At the end of his training, he was so strong that he could defeat entire armies and cut down mountains with just one slash of his broken sword. His followers aimed to be as strong as him and train their bodies and spirits to become worthy of following after him. The training was grueling and put great strain on the cultivators, but the result was extraordinarily strong bones and muscles and proficiency in sword fighting. Hu Li is happy on finding that his friend has come to join him in battle. The two of them could definitely defeat Tianming, who is as strong as someone in the 6th stage of the foundation building realm. But even when both of them try, they cannot defeat him. Tianming is using dragon sense to predict their attacks and dodge them. Only Hu Li is left as his friend is defeated easily by Tianming's ruthless attacks. Hu Li is also struggling now as Tianming is on the offensive. He had tried to change his stance and attack pattern, but his opponent was able to predict every move and overpower him. Tianming laughs at Hu Li, whose attacks make no difference to him. He sees the opportunity and slices him with both his daggers. But to his surprise, Hu Li is not injured, only his clothes were cut due to the attack. Hu Li laughs at him and says that his training had made his body strong and there was no way a regular nobody could cut him. Tianming has the right response to this situation. He uses his dragon transformation art and unleashes a full power cross slash. Hu Li is defeated and the attack cuts through a large area before it stops. Hu Li's friends are scared when they see him getting defeated and killed so easily. But Fei Ying and Meng Xiao are shocked and impressed by what Tianming just did. He checks his status, which tells him that the strength of his dragon transformation had increased for killing Hu Li. He is happy that he can grow stronger if he kills his enemies using the dragon transformation. He did not even need to go all out to defeat the people standing in front of him. Tianming walks to the other man who had attacked him. He starts begging for his life and offers him his space ring. He says that the ring was very valuable and had things worth 2,000 Xuan rank spirit stones. Tianming picks up the ring thinking that it was more valuable than the power he would get by killing the man. He also gets a lot of other valuable items from the man. He then turns to his comrades and gives them an offer. Either they hand over everything of value they had or attack him and die. The attackers are scared and leave everything they have in exchange for their lives. Meng Xiao is impressed by Tianming, but he still thinks that letting them go was risky. He says that if they went back to their sect and brought reinforcements, it would not be good. But Tianming plays cool and tells Meng Xiao to not be afraid as long as he was there. He says that he did not like meaningless bloodshed and there was no need to kill those people when they were willing to run away. But that was a thing of the past. Now they had to ensure their survival in this place before anyone else came after them. The remaining attackers are running and worry about what they will tell the masters in their sect. They are thankful for being left alive, but they are not going to take their loss easily. Once they reach their sect, they will bring reinforcements and even their master would come to fight the people from the Huhin sect. But as they are talking, a group of skeletons come out of hiding and surround them. Tianming had no plan to let them live and his skeletons mercilessly kill all of them. What will happen to Tianming and the group next? It is almost certain that Fei Ying is going to be his next dual cultivation partner. But when will it happen? Watch the next video to find out if it is going to happen soon enough.